Myself and many others have focused on the left side of their defense when it comes to question marks going into the 2026-27 season, and for good reason. But there is another area that I don't think anybody has really talked enough about that has major questions, and that's the penalty kill. Last season, the Pittsburgh Penguins were 6th in the National Hockey League on the man disadvantage, up from 18th in the year prior. A really stellar jump, and I think that was spearheaded by a guy who's coached penalty kill throughout most of his NHL career, and that's Dan Muse, as well as guys like Mike Stothers and guys like Nick Bonino. They were able to turn this group, who was below league average, to a top-tier penalty kill unit in the 25-26 season. The problem is, this offseason, they've already traded away their top penalty killer from last year in Parker Wotherspoon. They also did not re-sign their second highest penalty killing defenseman in Ryan Shea when it comes to ice time in the man disadvantage, and their fourth penalty kill defenseman in Connor Clifton. They also got rid of their second highest ice time accrual in penalty killing forwards in Nola Chari. They also didn't backfill. That's the issue. So the question that I have is, who's playing on the penalty kill this season? You need roughly, if not more, 8 to 10 skaters to form a penalty kill unit throughout an entire 82, now 84 game season. So who's left on this team from last year? You still have Connor Dewar, excellent penalty killer. You still have Blake Lizotte, excellent penalty killer. You still have Brian Rust, who can kill penalties. And you still have two guys that had some penalty kill ice time last year in Ben Kindle and Ricard Raquel. So you have 5, but 3 of them, 2 of them definitely in your top 6, and 1 of them holds a very pivotal role for you as your third line center, maybe even stepping up to second line center this year. And then on defense, the only 2 holdovers that you have that played significant ice time last year on the penalty kill, Erik Karlsson and Chris Letang. Not exactly, I understand, Karlsson was very good on the penalty kill last year. But when that's all that you have coming back, it's going to create a lot of questions. So now we have to look to the new faces. Who's going to kill penalties that has been brought into the organization? Trevor Van Riemsdyk is a solid option. He had 116 minutes of shorthanded ice time last year. But then you look at the other 2 guys that they brought in, and yes, they killed penalties, but they didn't spend a lot of time killing penalties. They weren't among the top options for their previous teams. Declan Carlisle had 47 minutes of shorthanded ice time, and Caden Korzak had just 35 minutes of shorthanded ice time for the Vegas Golden Knights. Forwards-wise, crickets, nothing. Nobody that you brought in is really going to inspire hope when it comes to the penalty kill side of things. So you're either going to rely on top 6 guys like Rust, like Raquel. I will lump Kindle into that. He might sit in a bottom 6 role, but I think he's going to have top 6 importance to this team at 5-on-5. Or you're going to have to rely on younger guys like a Rutger McGroarty, like a Avery Hayes. You know, Ville Koivunen just signed that contract. I don't think he's going to be killing penalties. Maybe they do that because last year they proved that even if you don't have a prior track record, they can turn you into a pretty good penalty killer, a la Erik Karlsson. But as we stand here today, this is the offseason. So we bring up what we're questionable about. And to me, a big question is who is going to kill penalties for this Penguins team? You have your main stalwarts on the forward side, and Dewar and Lizotte, and yes, Brian Rust. Defensively, though, who's going to lead that charge? Who's going to fill Parker Wotherspoon's role? Who's going to fill Ryan Shea's role? It's a huge question. And I'll just say this to close things out. Mike Stothers, Nick Bonino, and Dan Muse have their work cut out for them. So it's going to be interesting to see when training camp begins who ends up being on those first and second penalty kill units for the Pittsburgh Penguins.